Welcome everyone. You were listening to Calling the Audible. I almost called that the other show.
Yeah.
Thursdays are long. I'm Pizel Reese. Joining me, of course, is Iggy Magnets.
Hey.
How's it going? Normally Mo joins me, but we'll hear from Mo in a second because we will check in on the games that are happening in progress.
Oh, yeah. I want that score update.
Absolutely. We get the score update. Eagle, of course, is producing the show. How's it going, Eagle?
Hellos. My coffee has no creamer in it. I'm
It's
upset.
Sad.
disappointing, right?
And it's not sugary enough.
Oh, you loaded a ton of sugar into it.
So,
How many packs of sugar, just to be clear?
what's it to you?
Go
Can
for
we
it.
not end and start weeks on like Wednesday, Thursday?
Infuriating.
The amount of messages I got about articles not being up last week, I was like, I know, we're trying. I'm sorry.
Not
sorry.
easy. Yeah.
So Iggy and I both write for the league, and we have a show to produce for Thursday, which comes together by
With the end
us
with
working on it. Honestly, a lot of times we lean on Mo because we're writing, but Mo hasn't been on the show for 3 weeks because he's scorekeeping because we have games Thursday. Which again, none of this would be an issue if the week started Sunday and we could release the article Friday or Saturday, which we are doing this week. It's hard already with the week ending Wednesday and starting again Thursday. And then it becomes thoroughly impossible when we have to also produce the show. So that's our excuses, and we're
Yep.
sorry, and that's our apology.
Thank you for giving an excuse on my behalf.
We're trying to. Also, here's another thing: is we've revamped our social media. Our social media presence has always been very good, but we wanted to try to do something a little different. So we have like a full social media team. 2 of the members of that social media team are you and Lori, who are at the field,
Or here.
and I'm involved with that team because it's FPF Media, right?
Yeah.
So that takes time off our place as well. But the benefit of having Iggy and Lori work on a team is we have access to a lot of these clips, and we're going to try and involve them more on the show. And we're going to post some clips from Calling the Audible on the show as well. So if you have teammates who maybe don't have the time to listen to the full show and we talk about your team, you can share our posts about your team and showcase to your friends and family and so on, whoever might be interested in your team.
Family.
Yeah. My mom asks about my team all the time.
No.
Frank K's mom watches every show.
Yeah, Frank K's
yeah.
mom watches.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, confirmed that it's K, and we're going to talk about Frank K because he
Oh,
had some
yeah.
words for me and Alexi, so you're going to have to answer for Alexi.
Okay.
You have to answer for Alexi.
I'll put my Prime Minister hat on.
Absolutely.
And say nothing.
I cannot
That's the
comment.
job,
I
right?
cannot comment on that.
It is the current year.
And deflect to the opposition being the divisive.
Yeah, that's the playbook. And then eventually blame cancel culture. So, speaking of Alexi didn't know Jimi Hendrix was a guitar player.
Who do you think it was?
You're the UFC fighter.
He only knew Jimi Hendrix, whose the name is spelled completely differently, as the UFC fighter, and not the man who, as far as I'm concerned, created electric guitar.
Mm-hmm. He's
My actual idol. If I never had an idol, if I had an idol, it would be Jimi Hendrix because the dude taught me how to play guitar.
This all started because someone made a reference to Fight Club, of which Alexi also didn't know.
That's
and then we
another
somehow-
thing.
So
Man.
at least in Alexi's defense, even if he did know about Fight Club, if he wasn't telling us that he knew about it, I can respect that because that's part of it, right?
Yeah, but now we know he doesn't know stuff, so we're asking him outright.
each
and
and,
he's-
every time.
It's not in his nature to not answer a question.
Also, we had to explain what Chernobyl was. That was interesting.
Oh my God. That's
well,
yes.
well, you didn't have to. You just did, Peas.
I mean, people should generally know this.
Yes. Yeah.
So yes, he should explain to him.
Yeah.
Um,
He's just a. You keep referring to it that he's worse at pop culture than Mo Khan, and
Mo-
it's just hilarious.
Mo is he just stopped paying attention to the world like after 1997, where like he saw She's All That and he's like, that's as good as movies are ever gonna get. That's the this shit was hype.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah. He still thinks like he's like, if they asked him like, which actor should play you in a movie, to him is like, well, Freddie Prinze Jr. is the hottest guy in the world, so he's the hottest actor, so therefore gonna go Freddie Prinze Jr. And Jr. sounds like it's young always, right? So it's gonna sound like he's gonna go that way. But Alexi, it's that A, he's really young compared to us.
Yep.
B, he's a psychopath. Like his everyone's got like a serial killer trait.
Mm-hmm.
His serial killer. Mine is that when I'm grinding pepper, I count how many times I'm grinding. Like, and my wife's like, "What are you counting to?"
Please put that in the
count how many times I'm grinding.
Put that in the
I meant what I said.
On Instagram.
I meant what I said.
Count the number of times you grind.
Said what I meant.
Okay.
Count how many times I'm grinding. But Alexi's serial killer trait is he's so singularly focused on.
That's Alexa, not Alexi.
Yeah.
Ironically, that's not the first time that's happened. Even my boss, when he's at home and he's talking to me, his Alexa accidentally turns on because it hears it wrong.
He's so singularly focused on the things he likes. For example, like football.
Right.
Whatever it is, like the things he's studying in school. Like he knows those things so well.
Right. That he just thinks
that he's just got blinders on.
Yeah, he thinks everyone's referring to the same thing he's thinking about.
Yeah, which is only those two things. Right. Like it's school and it's football and that's it. Yeah. A very unbalanced human being.
It's kind of funny. So so we like assigning him pop culture homework.
Yeah.
On the weekends.
Yeah. I'd love to, like, we obviously don't have time for this, but I'd love to legit have like a movie night every week with Alexi, just to introduce him like, this movie's awesome. And then like, he's gonna be like, when you show your kids something and they're like, no, this is lame. This is terrible. Like I showed my wife, who's also younger, not as young as Alexi, but significantly younger than me. I showed her The Fifth Element and she's like, this is the 90th ass shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, because you saw it in the 90s.
Yeah, it was awesome at the time. So the Brossard games were rescheduled. Not our doing. Unfortunately, the complex had some Montreal Canadiens the things happening, and they get precedence, and they didn't know in advance, and it makes sense. They pay the bills, so it's fine. We pay lesser bills.
So that was last week. Is that this week as well?
Eagle?
My understanding is it also applied to this week. However, this week's games were moved to Laval outdoors, is my understanding of it. So previous games that used to be at Brossard, obviously the week of, we couldn't get them rescheduled in time, but I think this week we had enough leeway to do that. That being said, I wasn't entirely keeping track of the email trails that were going on because a bunch of people were emailing us back like, hey, so are these games moved? I really hope Rob dealt with that, but then again, who knows?
No, I don't think they were moved to Laval. I'm pretty sure Ravens were going to play tonight, and I don't see them on the schedule now.
I think they're going to be moved later on in the schedule, is what it appears based on the website.
Cool.
I wasn't involved with the conversation.
No.
I was in the chat group, but because there's other things to take care of, I didn't have a chance to catch up on it.
Yeah, they're TBA now.
Yeah, looks like that. So that's pretty much all the general announcements and nonsense.
News and notes,
There will be more nonsense, I assure you, but for the start of the show, that's enough for that. I do want to talk to Mo because he's at the field and he's scorekeeping a Tier 3 game, and we're about to get into some Tier 3 action.
Nice. What Tier 3 game is it?
Why
so serious? Why so serious?
Against?
You should ask him why you're so serious. Against Lalamo 17-year-olds.
Yeah.
Hello?
Mo.
Hello?
Why so serious?
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Why so serious?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, why are you guys so late for today?
Eagle, we can't hear Mo, so you're going to have to carry this
I
conversation.
can.
So we're a little bit late right now, only because Peas was terrible.
What?
No.
What?
No, it's because Iggy's his usual self.
No, not this week. No. Don't blame me. Mo,
no, because we wanted to make sure we got to halftime so we get a proper update of the games, clearly.
That's but before we get to the games, Mo, I can't hear you, but you can hear me. Tell us, what's Rudy up to?
She is jumping up and down right now, actually.
Jumping
like a real mascot. It's really cold outside, so... jumping like a mascot right now.
Uh-huh. Mo, second question for you. Why so serious?
I'm not. It's cold, man. Like, it's miserable outside. Yeah, don't worry about the score, guys. Don't worry the score. The score is fine. Have it over here.
What is the score, please?
No, so Mo, before you answer the question about the score, the other night when I was at Loyola, there was like this orange light in the background.
That was weird.
It was really weird. Is there an orange light right now? And we'll get to the game in a second, of course. But for now, is there an orange light appearing in the sky?
No, there is not tonight, guys. Not tonight.
You do know what he was referring to, right? On Monday, you saw it too, Mo?
Yeah. That I saw.
Are you?
Saw it, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Are you okay,
Sorry, guys,
Mo? You sound like
I am good. I am good. It's I'm trying to do 5 things at once here because we have a wind blowing in my face. We have players complaining about the scoreboard, and we have a quarterback out here.
Now you now I can't hear Mo. Thank you.
No problem. So Mo, neither of us can hear you. We're gonna let you go, but we'll call you back later in the show.
Perfect.
Hopefully, we'll be able to hear what you're saying. Thank you so much for coming on the show, bud.
Amazing. Thank you, boys.
What, you unplugged me?
I didn't unplug you. We're having issues. We're having issues.
It's like what happened before and everything. I have a way to fix this, but last time I almost blew out pieces of eardrums.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to continue talking for a moment, and we don't need our headphones because we're in the same room. And Eagle, if you can try that again. I recommend you removing your headphones while Eagle does this. So speaking of Tier 3.
Yes.
There's some undefeated teams.
Yeah, I believe 5.
Now,
maybe 6, actually.
You are a particular source of knowledge for this. Because you're the team. You represented the team where False Kings was first created as a narrative.
The inaugural
False Kings were Honey Martin.
Yes. So I know a thing or two about False Kings.
Oh, you know a thing or two about False Kings.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So can we take a look at these teams?
Yes.
And decipher which ones are the elite teams in division and which ones are the False Kings in Tier 3.
Are we taking Lalamo 17-year-old 1-0 record as...
Yeah, undefeated.
It
Never
is undefeated, but 1 of 1.
Bruins.
So Bruins are definitely not a False King. They are the king of kings. Probably, and I'll suggest this in my article, probably should be a Tier 2 team. Zach Zwern does not belong in Tier 3. He's a Tier 2 caliber player.
Gab Wiseman's the best quarterback in the division.
Yep.
Usually, if a quarterback's that high on the cap, it makes it difficult to build a team. But kudos to Bruins. They built a very solid squad despite the rating of Gab Wiseman.
But it's not like he's a QB flex because that doesn't exist in Tier 3.
He fits. He's right at the limit.
Well, he was lowered slightly.
But it was lowered.
But it was close. It was close. Yeah.
It was one of those where it's like a couple decimal points over.
Yes.
He filed an official request. The request was reviewed. Look, and based on his performance last season, it was last time he threw, it was a fine request. Like it wasn't. We looked at his rating in the division, and he wasn't.
I understand. Eagles given this argument, yes, but no. At the same time, he was subbing. He was replacing Joel Hull, throwing for Ravens.
It's on his team.
Half the season, so it's not a team built for him. You're one of the proponents of building teams with specific players for a quarterback. And he clearly wasn't the Ravens quarterback like Joel Hull is.
Yeah, agreed. It's not his guys either. Eagle, one thing, we're getting a lot of white noise now, but no.
It's on B. That's why I just checked it.
What's on B?
Lower your B.
Lower my B?
So you have less white noise.
He wants you to go to B.
But now I'm still not getting Iggy in my headset.
But he's B, is what I'm saying.
He's B? I'm not getting Iggy.
Amazing.
0.
Okay. At all?
No.
So definitely not Bruins. Arush might be he's flustered. Very please.
They are in a sense that in the playoffs they never live up to our expectations. They're the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I loved, by the way, the Toronto Maple Leafs are Dallas Cowboys. I love that comparison you guys made in week 1. So I'm gonna say False Kings check yes.
Yeah, but they'll be great in regular season.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So regular season, real Kings.
Yes.
Playoffs, False Kings. Yes. So I guess on aggregate, False Kings, because playoffs way more than
way more important, mammothly important, if you
mammothly, yes,
if one would say.
Also, we should find out from the people. Iggy and I were having a conversation last night, and I'm going to mention this in my article as well, whether woolly mammoths taste more like lamb or bear. And Eagle said it would taste mostly like bison. After some research, we found out he might be right, but we refused to admit that. So let's take for granted that it probably tastes like bison.
Put it on the poll, though.
But you have two options.
Yes, only two options on the poll.
Two options.
Yes.
Lamb or bison.
Now
lamb
it's
or
bison?
bear. Sorry, lamb or bear.
Well,
because lamb are woolly and bear are mammoth.
Right. I've never had bear.
I've had bear.
And?
It's very fatty. It's not for me.
Okay, so based on the research done, so no, I'll just go with more.
But do you know if woolly mammoth would be for you? Maybe it's not your thing because it's too fatty.
Maybe
or not fatty enough.
But I'm going more with lamb. I'm going with more with lamb.
And not like Wagyu beef. Like this is nice and fatty, and it's not good fatty.
So I have two sound effects here. One is the dinosaur roar, and one is the lion roar. Which one do you think would sound more like a woolly mammoth? So let's go with the dinosaur one first.
It works. Is that
incredibly
input A?
That's A.
Okay, so we'll hear Mo at least when we call next.
Perfect. Or the lion roar.
But do you have a lamb noise?
I don't think I have a lamb noise. No.
What about a bear?
I also do not have a bear. I have
Dude,
a
the
bark.
only two animals relevant to FPF, and you don't have it.
That's
all
all.
right,
I
that's
got.
close enough. That's
all I
kind
got.
of a bear. So yeah, so you're thinking Eric Lalonde and his piece.
Yeah.
Why is it that others don't succeed in playoffs?
So it might be a combination of not playing like in consecutive seasons. They usually take like either the spring season off or a winter season off, so they don't get to see as many. There's just less exposure to most of these teams. That would be one of my probably the greatest ones. The more you play, the more you get to see other teams, you get to exploit their weaknesses.
Because I feel the opposite happens to them is teams kind of know what they're about.
Exactly.
And they're not prepared for what they're seeing, whereas other teams are prepared for them.
Exactly.
Come playoff time where you're playing teams that are as talented as you, basically.
Yeah. Killer Rays.
Killer Rays to me.
That was interesting.
I am 100% in. I am all the way in.
You're all in?
I am all in because the receiving squad is nasty.
Yeah.
Tyler Bianchi got a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
That defense is not perfect, but the offense puts so much pressure on the opposing team's offense to be perfect.
Right.
That it creates situations where they're defending sort of high leverage type passes. They're defending deep passes from pretty early on in the game.
Yeah.
They can just drop and cover 3 and
yeah, so they're actually my opponent on Sunday.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing how far they've come in their FPF development.
Yeah.
How they are in specific game situations, especially now with the implementation of the onside rule. So it's going to be a fun game, and I just want to see a bit more if they can control a game and manage a game well.
Yeah, agreed.
But their gameplay is amazing. I'm with you. Like I've seen a couple of their games,
and like just in that one season where they won the championship, we broadcasted that game.
Yeah.
And to see where they had come from in the season where they were good to like, oh no, this team is they're clearly the best team in the division, right?
Yeah.
Kiss my in-laws. I'll do this one.
Yes.
Or Eagle and I'll have this conversation. I think this is probably not only the cleverest of the Kiss My team names,
Not
but this for the division it's built in might be the best Kiss My variant. Like I think you're one of the top quarterbacks in the division. I think Marvin Steinberg is an absolute stud. Alexi's very good. You guys took a hit with Benjamin Burke getting hurt.
Yeah. But replace him with Zach Albert's-Gill.
Yeah,
and he's leading the tier and with 5 sacks.
Absolutely.
So it's not too shabby of a replacement if I may say so myself.
Eagle, what are your thoughts? Kiss my in-laws.
I think Kiss My In-Laws will suffer the curse of a bad matchup in the playoffs, and that will
false
be a
kings.
downfall.
Okay.
Not necessarily false kings, but I think depending on who you hit at what stage, that's going to be the problem you're going to run into.
It's sports radio, Eagle. You got to take one side. You can't say that
side.
you like both LeBron and Jordan. It's not possible to like two things. So therefore, they're either false kings or they're the real deal.
I don't like my in-laws, so I'm not kissing them.
All right, there you go. Now you know. This is gonna lead us to our next conversation. Also, what about voodoo?
You know what? I know Eagle just spoke, but I want his opinion here again because
he just played them.
He just played them. So, Eagle, take it away. What are we thinking about voodoo here?
I think voodoo's good. I think their playbook is somewhat predictable, but efficient. right? Like,
Yeah.
you know Pat Saint-Amand is getting the ball almost every second or third play. And yet he still manages to, beat the one-on-one coverage, beat the high-low. You know that they're going to check down to Martin Bergeron on some out or maybe over the top on a corner.
Yeah.
Yet he still manages to find the hole. Frank K is smart in terms of where he distributes the ball on the field such that when you think you know something's coming, he uses the play you're not anticipating on that one. And then when you plan for that one, he uses the other one. So I think they'll be able to keep up in games. I'm still worried about, and this didn't happen in our game, but I'm still worried about when they have to come from behind. That's always been the big problem with Voodoo, in that you don't have that big explosive play. Everything is about marching the field or getting chunks out of the field, versus if you're down by a score or two, it's harder for them to play that catch-up game because they need to start taking those chances, and their offense is simply not designed to take those chances. And I think defensively, realistically, they're nothing special there. It is what it is.
I'll agree with that. Defensively, nothing special. I'll disagree with you, though, on the quick strike offense. Pat Saint-Amand is the quick strike offense. He can score on that 30 bomb, 40 bomb. But
that's not what they do, though.
But the thing is, teams know that that's the guy. However, secondary players like returning FPF veteran Etienne Vaillancourt.
I was going to say he's the guy.
Yes.
That's the quick strike.
That's it. But he's been...
Is he injured, by the way? Because he wasn't playing in our game.
He did play in your game, caught 5 balls for 30 yards, or that was stats given to someone else?
There's someone lying.
Unless I am confused, I was pretty sure he wasn't dressed that game.
No, he was. I saw him there. I was
on
there.
The field, though?
I saw him next to Frank K warming up. Yes. They arrived.
He's the dude who's the fastest guy on that team. Him and Kevin Marcel. You might be confusing him with Marcel.
You may be.
Because Marcel wasn't there.
Yes, Kevin Marcel was probably the guy that you're thinking of. Because, yes, he's not on the roster, and he is also very fast.
So I'll give you a quick breakdown of what Frank K said about our discussions about him.
Yes.
First of all, it's K, not Kai.
Yes. Yeah, Alexei doesn't know how to pronounce.
For a reason that I'm not going to explain because it might be personal.
Okay.
But yeah, it's K.
Okay. Well, how much less personal can you get than someone's name?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
He said that we're all entitled to our own opinion, and he knows he's not the most mobile guy, and but his goal was to play in FPF till he's 60.
Oh damn! The
and
Tom Brady.
He's
here.
6 years away. So once you know his age, his play is even more impressive.
Wow.
Because my body is falling apart, and I am 14 years younger than him.
Wow.
He's saying about, we talked about his evolution and playbook. He's saying that, yes, there's guys like you and I, Iggy, who scheme and create open spaces and have to do all this mental gymnastics. But he's like, he doesn't like that because his opinion is that's allowing the defense to dictate the course of the game. I don't agree because, again, it's what we do.
Yeah, I don't agree.
But his thing was, his whole opinion on that was that if you can place a ball properly and if you have a receiver that you trust and they can win a one-on-one matchup. I'll give an example, actually. Yeah. It was from last winter season when Justin Blanchard was lined up in ISO on Patrick Saint-Amand. And I told Justin, watch out for the comeback. Justin was a fantastic defensive player. Played it almost perfectly. Frank K puts it a step out of bounds. Patrick Saint-Amand reaches over the cone, grabs it. It's a touchdown. And
it's
not defensible.
That you cannot
defend it. And
it's
so
a penalty
that's
otherwise.
the thing he does well.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with Eagle. I think he doesn't get enough credit.
Sure.
I don't remember being unnecessarily harsh on Frank because I actually love the dude. I think A, he's one of my favorite people in FPF. Yeah. B, he's also one of my favorite quarterbacks in FPF. I think he's great. I think he's awesome. I do think when I say that his skill set is limited, so is mine. So is yours.
Oh, yeah,
we're not Kevin. We're not like Kevin Wyeth.
Yeah.
And I do think that his best skill is that when he has the lead, he's a guy at the poker table that when he's got a lot of chips, he's gonna bludgeon you to death. If he ever gets to a final and he's got a lead, they're not losing the game. It's not like when Vultures lost two straight finals.
Ouch.
But I'm just saying,
yes.
that was I'm not taking a shot at anybody. I'm just saying, that kind of game. Frankie will never let that happen.
Yep.
That's just not in his arsenal, basically.
I made a mistake. I was thinking of Coach Rabadi, who actually did play the game, but had already changed out of his clothes by the time I said good game to him at the end.
Fair. So yeah, so he was there. But yeah, so that's what I think of Voodoo anyway. So what's your call? False Kings or
I'm gonna go False King.
False King? All right.
Yeah.
So we were alerted that we're sleeping on Diamond Bougie on our YouTube chat. Someone from Diamond Bougie said we were sleeping on them. Is this true? They just took a loss to Killer Rays, which again we expect to be really good in the division. But is that just saying something more about Killer Rays than Diamond Bougie, or are they just do they think they're better than they are?
Also, can we talk about these jerseys?
Yeah.
I can't tell if they're super cool or trying to
cool.
be edgy with Minecraft.
No, it's cool. No, they're pretty cool.
I'm not a good judge of cool.
Oh, because you can't see the real color.
Because I've never once been cool.
Okay. It's no, they're nice. Those are nice jerseys.
So can you answer my question?
What's the question? Oh,
are they're saying we're sleeping on them. Is it just that we're sleeping on them, or should we be paying more attention?
Well,
I mean, you beat up on Why So Serious.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
Isn't
So
exactly
that comment came from a 52-12 shellacking over Why So Serious.
Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo. Like that to me just tells me you don't know your opponent. You don't know FPF that much yet. So no, we're not sleeping on you. We just know who your opponent was, and it's not as impressive as you may think it is.
Same opponent where Kareem Anthony Chilcott almost intercepted you 3 times?
Almost. Well, once he got his hands.
I heard 3 times.
Reports
were.
Oh, I just
in your back.
Yeah, perfect.
we have audio, Eagle.
Awesome.
Thanks for nothing.
I fixed it.
So no, we're not sleeping on them, but they are really good.
They are.
Like let's call a spade or a bougie.
They kind of faded on the stretch last season.
Yeah.
They were Cité des Jetons.
Yes, that was them.
Or I don't know if it's the exact same team, but
more or less, it's the big core.
The core of them.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see if that happens again.
Yeah.
Because continuity in FPF is hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
My team was a throwaway from the finals. We're 0-2 to start the season, right? Like It's hard. It's a hard league to play in.
Yep.
So we'll keep an eye out. I find them interesting. I find them to be one of the more exciting teams in the division. I like the style of play.
Yep.
It's I wish I was a big arm quarterback. I wish I could attack the way they do.
Yep.
They have great athletes. I caught a little bit of the game against Killer Rays. I had to warm up for my own game, so I didn't see a ton of it. But they fought tooth and nail. They only lost by a touchdown to Killer Rays. And I saw Tyler Bianchi getting frustrated a couple times in that game.
Interesting. Interesting because in the playoff matchup last spring, that was the one that the quarterfinals where Killer Rays eliminated Cité de Jetons. It was Cité de Jetons essentially getting super frustrated and then not really giving a hoot about the game and then starting 6 quarterbacks. Remember you sent me a message. Did they really have 6 different quarterbacks? And I'm like, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Because they were just and then I looked at the box score of this 37-31 victory for Killer Rays, and I once again saw 5 quarterbacks, and I'm like, oh no, they made Diamond Bougie go crazy again. And then the next time I looked at the box score, they adjusted.
That was just an error.
Adjusted all the stats to 1 QB.
Yeah. It was Theo Gregoire was rushing, and he was in Tyler Bianchi's face more than I think he thought he would be. Right. Again, and that's a tribute to their athleticism. So we're monitoring, and like that's as far as good losses go, that's a good loss to Killer Rays because they were competitive in a game where they weren't last year, and a team we still expected to be better than Diamond Bougie because we expected Killer Rays to be one of the top teams in this division.
Agreed.
The Villains in co-ed have only allowed 6 points. Is this a product of their schedule, or are they a legitimate top tier unit?
Who's this?
The Villains co-ed.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say I also was not following that transition.
I just started saying a different thing.
I know, that's what I was like.
That was my transition.
Yeah, it was weak. It wasn't strong.
They're not low winners, kids.
You've done better in the past. What are we thinking about their jerseys?
Are you going to answer my question?
In a second. I want the jerseys put up. Look, 41-0 shellacking over Melting Pot, and a 39 another drubbing of Iced Out. Nah, give me a product of their schedule. Look, at the same time, it's still impressive to execute at that level. For more or less a newish team, they do have some FPF.
Yeah, they have
players.
some experience.
Yeah.
There's Ricardo Orsini's played before. Jeremy Thompson O'Reilly played on that team, and Savage Thompson O'Reilly played on a team that struggled in I want to say Division 2 and then Division 4.
Okay.
They're one of those teams that registered late and started in too high a division and then moved down and was still struggling because, again, FPF's a difficult league.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to see Ariane Mondouk-Chalut have more of an impact on the team because so far it's the names you expect. And we keep saying that, like, for teams in co-ed, we need to see the women be more involved. And both on offense and defense, we haven't really seen it. It's been sort of the expected people that have had an impact on the game. Marie-Christine Gauthier, hasn't been involved. Melina Gagnon hasn't been that involved. Ariane, as we mentioned, she has a couple of tackles, but hasn't been involved on both sides of the ball. If I'm correct, on offense, their target share is only about I want to say 7 of the targets have gone that way of some 31 passes thrown.
Right.
It's not enough involvement on offense. On defense, I'm curious to see if they're going to start making plays. Sorry, Eagle?
29 passes total, 7 of which the women.
Yeah. It's not as much as we'd like to see to predict success for their team.
Yeah.
And on defense too, they're not quite as involved as they can be, and they might be being carried by the athleticism of Ricardo Antonio Gutierrez Orsini and Jeremy Thompson O'Reilly and Savage Thompson O'Reilly as well.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like a running quarterback here with 110 yards, 2 touchdowns from Jeremy Thompson O'Reilly.
He's super fast.
Yeah, I saw him. He's very quick.
He's a really good receiver too. Both brothers are really good football players. So I'd like to see again just them understand that next level of because co-ed's a tricky division. I remember telling you after my first game, like, this is different. The way teams defend is different. The way teams play is different.
And you've played co-ed before, and it's still.
But it's a year ago, right? So like
exactly.
And I can imagine for them never to have it played before. It's absolutely an adjustment. So we'll see how that looks moving forward. LeSec has been having some issues since they've started FPF. We played them this week.
We did.
But instead of talking about the game, I want to talk specifically about some of the issues that they had. I'll talk about some of the players that I think can get more involved, but also I want to talk just generally about some game situations.
Yeah. I know what you're referring to, but
they started the game. We missed a tackle, and Alison Francino gone. Touchdown.
Yeah.
First play of the game. Yeah. We came up. I had a poorly placed ball that was intercepted, and all of a sudden, LeSec if we're setting odds, LeSec versus Kiss My End Zone. Kiss My End Zone's a huge favorite, right?
Yep.
They have us on the ropes to start the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
And then they just made a whole bunch of mental mistakes. What I was doing is, I don't know if you noticed this, Iggy, I was running onto the field to start our drives.
I did notice.
Because I wanted to get as many drives in as possible because I knew they were going to make more and more mental mistakes and that I trusted us to make less of those than they would.
Right.
And we're proven right. I'll give you an example.
Yes. Examples, please.
Third and goal from the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
They played shadow defense.
Oh, right. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I had Joey Notero on a drag, and that's over. Right? Like, you can't defend 1 yard on a drag in the red zone. It's not possible. Like, maybe the top defenders in Division 1 can, but not this level in co-ed.
Yeah.
Because even if Joey was covered, someone else was open.
Yeah. I'll give you another one.
Go ahead.
I believe it was 4th and 3, maybe 4th and 4.
Midfield?
With about, at midfield.
No, on their side of midfield also. Not even like, they're not going to pin us at the 1. Right, on their side of midfield.
Right, but pretty close, so like near midfield. 4th and 4, I think 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, and they're down by 1 score and decide to punt and put us at the 10. No, that is the time to go for it. That is your 2-minute warning, even with 5 or 6 minutes.
2-minute drill, right?
Like that is the game there.
Yeah.
By punting, you're essentially giving up the victory. Did you have another one? Because I had another. And this is all to help
not
them
using not using their
timeouts.
Not using their timeouts. Not using their
Onside
convert.
kick.
No, sorry, their onside kick.
At the end of the game.
At the end of the game, yeah. We let up a score because we're up 2 scores.
Yep.
They scored
with 2 plays
with
remaining.
2 plays left.
They score with 2 plays remaining. And I noticed Mark, the ref, was waiting to call the game, waiting for Lasek to be like, we want to go for an onside kick. You're down 2 scores. You just scored a touchdown. You're down now because the final score was 26-19. So they're down 7. There's 1 play remaining in the game. They can either give us the ball back and we're going to call it, or with the last play of the game, they can ask to go for the onside kick and just throw a Hail Mary into the end zone. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
Just give yourself a chance to win.
That rule was put into place for that reason.
Like it gives you a chance.
And we had run
back.
an onside kick earlier.
Yes.
And that failed.
Yes. So they were aware that it's part of the game now, although they weren't aware before because there was just a quick explanation of how it works. Yeah. That's the time to be like, oh, wait, we have one too. There's 1 play remaining. We can use it and try and win or tie the game.
Yeah. The other thing is the way the reads are constructed on offense. Essentially, Raphaël Beauchamp-Desbois, especially on key downs, the first read is Alison Francillon. The second and third read is Alison Francillon.
Yeah.
And he stays with it too long. And we went out of our way to take it away and give up other things. And I saw a great catch on the sideline.
Yes.
I want to say it was Valérie Fefcraquier.
It was, yes.
She's got great hands, great route runner.
Yeah.
Barely used. She was targeted. It says here 5 times. Didn't feel that way when I was.
Felt like 3, maybe.
Felt maybe
max.
3, and not all of them were on target.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a drop, 1 catch, and then one that's off target. Like you know what I mean? Like get her involved in the game, and you'll also get less drops.
And as surprised as you are to like see like that nice catch, I've seen that throughout other seasons, past seasons. So I've always been a proponent of hers to get her to be more utilized in the offense because she has great hands and she has great
body control and everything.
And yards after the catch too. If she makes one person miss, she can go downfield, get that yak yards, get 10, 15 yards to refresh the downs and reset everything for Lasek.
I think running QBs have an advantage in co-ed.
Maybe.
Like I see the way Jeremy White buys time.
Yeah.
The reads sort of take a little bit longer, so it takes a second, and if you can buy that time, it's helpful.
Yeah.
And so I've seen how effective Jeremy White is. Like I said, can Jeansley Alexi be the next great QB in the division? We have here an example. Here is him running for a touchdown pulled from our Instagram account.
Way to set it up right away. Hold on.
Someone was on their
I couldn't
phone.
have been talking longer about it.
Someone was
talk about Jeremy
checking,
White.
Someone was talking about fantasy, checking their fantasy on their phone, I think. You know? Like someone last week.
Yeah, no one like right now.
Yes. No, not at all. Oh, what a catch. What a sideline catch. Here's the run.
That change of direction is nasty. That's nasty.
That's game changer. That literally forces defenses to move one way, and the quick ability to shift in a split second the complete opposite direction. It made it look even worse on a one-on-one, but like even for an entire defense moving, that's very difficult to defend.
He had his back
to
the end zone, and then was able to turn around
and
get into the end zone.
Yeah.
And not lose his balance or anything. It was really impressive. But let's talk about Free Smoke. Let's talk about a team on the whole. They've looked good. They beat Benchwarmers, who Benchwarmers impressed me week 1.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of talent, a little green, but a lot of talent.
More experience with Gab Wiseman at the helm.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is the
so
case.
they faced a better version of them than even we faced.
Yep.
But we look here and we see some of the pieces from Bishop Sycamore.
Correct. Yeah.
Who are really athletic too. So Micheline Gabelleux, we imagined she'll have more to say before the season's done. She had a solid game, averaging over 10 yards, over 15, almost 15 yards a catch rather. Valerie Shelder only targeted a couple times, didn't catch a ball, but it's good to see some involvement. Again, I think James Lee can do a better job of spreading the ball. That said, he also only threw the ball 18 times this game because he's taking deep shots and he's running, and that's it's a run and gun style of offense, which I think can be effective because it if you're going to try and contain that, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, that just doesn't lead to a lot of passing attempts, as you're seeing in the stats, but it's moving the chains in large chunks at a time.
Yeah.
And especially with, like you mentioned, the Bishop Sycamore receivers, especially Micheline Gabelus. I believe there's also a clip of one of her catches here. As James Lee targets over the middle. Great
to extend for that ball.
Yeah, exactly. If we can see that one again. Great ball, hand extension to go up for it. And then the yards after the catch too. So watch that quick speed right up to the middle and never stopping, right? Never
immediately turn upfield.
Yeah, never hesitating, just gaining as many yards as she can. That looked like the first drive, the first play of a drive, immediately went to midfield. So that's the average of 15 yards per catch. that's what it looks like,
and it's incredibly valuable.
Yeah, exactly. So
and I think so Jordan and Alexei played in FPF many years with Doug McKernan's teams, and Jimmy Lee Janvier also has a lot of experience. So I think them bringing experience to this core that came in really talented, but with a really a lack of experience, I think that's going to help them be really good really quickly. And we've kind of seen that already. Again, benchwarmers were impressive, and then this is a better version of them, and they just took it to town. In the women's division, we were there for a game between Lou and Louvre.
Yes, the Monday nighter.
Yeah, it was cold. I was miserable.
Yeah.
Bleep outdoor games, as Mo would say. It was dreadful, but the one thing that warmed my heart was actually watching this game because it was an impassioned game between these two teams.
Yes. I think there's a clip of that Passion Eagle.
I don't have that one ready. I have the other one first.
Yeah, it's okay. That one will be my article. So come to my article to see how that game ended.
Okay. Yeah, that one's a long clip.
Yeah, that's why I'm for my article.
Yeah. But otherwise, yes. So, look, a very low-scoring game.
And a sloppy game.
Yes, it was, and maybe due to the weather conditions didn't help the feel and look of it.
Yeah, I think there's some fundamental. So I asked you as you're part of producing the show. I said, can we take a clip or two and look at what it looks like for them on the field and suggest ways that they can improve?
Yeah, as you're getting wires. All your wires.
I was gonna say, Eagle. I know that we're watching the Browns, but it's also inappropriate for you to be near that region of me.
It's the Browns.
Yeah,
Brown's gonna brown.
Brown's gonna brown, apparently.
Yeah.
So we do have a clip that was sent in about a play design.
Yes.
Iggy, if you want to break this one down here, I can pause it for you if you want along the way. So
Yeah, sure. So look,
great work by the cameraman. Great angle.
Thank you. Is that sarcasm?
No, no. I was trying to be nice.
All right. So just watch how the it's more the play calling here. So just look at where all the receivers end up, and look where this ball ends up. So no one to the outside. Everyone just kind of converges over to the middle. The ball's pretty actually a decently thrown ball, but everyone's just huddled around the middle. There's no concepts to the outside. The spacing is just there is no spacing. Everyone's in the same space.
Yeah, that's and we saw that a lot. Like just a lot of clutter.
Yeah,
there was a lot of. We see here that this was like a play where there's clutter, where the receivers are all reaching one area of the field.
Yeah.
In the backfield as well, they were running a lot of reverses and stuff, and that's more common in women's than it is in men's. But the way they were running just seemed sloppy. FPF is a game of spacing and distances, and it just seemed as though both sides of the field, both offenses struggled with creating separation on offense.
Yeah, I from what I saw in all the clips I was taking, unnecessary deep balls. I understand that the women's game's a little different.
Yeah, because they have to get to half field.
Yeah, you have to get 4 downs to the half and then 4 downs to the end zone. But it still felt like on first and second down they were taking unnecessarily deep shots, which often led to interceptions. Which kudos to Lou Dunant.
So
they were able to get those picks.
I'm with you, but the exploit in the women's game is the deep ball because it's 5-on-5, so you have less players in the field, and the field is tighter. but the field is as long.
Correct.
So the exploit is the length of the field is harder to defend than the width of the field. But there's ways to attack that, right? Like you can sort of set up reads where you have somebody out at 10 and then someone going over at 15, and then a short outlet on first down, especially. Sometimes on first down, take the 5 or 6 yards and give yourself 2 or 3 downs to work with. You know.
Yeah, and that's what I was not seeing. Right, I was seeing the first down was about a pass down deep into the middle. I believe
or
that
a failed double reverse handoff.
Right,
like this one here.
This may have been first or second down. Again,
so just. So describe what happened in pick 6 for the audience, the audio audience.
Well, down again, like I was saying, a ball down deep into the middle, overthrown to the receiver with a safety, was able to just pick it off, cut to the sideline, back to the middle of the field, deflagged at around the 4 or 5 yard line of the Louvre du Nord. Just look, if we show it one more time, there's a concept on the near side of us where there's a quick out. I don't think either of these teams from the snapper, I don't think either of these teams know, because the width of the field is less, that wheels from your snapper are actually it's actually real good here. So if you
right here, if you just either lead the ball to the outside or up the field, you'll potentially have both.
Well, from there, no. But look how the defender crashes immediately. So their concepts, I don't believe I saw too many wheel concepts or out and ups. That would have been a touchdown.
Corners even from the snapper.
Yeah, like they're.
It also feels that neither team was confident in attacking the sideline, and honestly,
yes. Agreed.
One of the ways I've learned to limit my turnovers, don't look at this season, is to attack the sideline more, because it's easier to throw a safer ball to the sideline.
Yes.
Right?
It is.
So sideline floods. Sideline floods are huge, and again, you have the availability to. Snapper's the hardest position to defend in FPF or women's flag or anything. Yep. So if you can create space by sending your snapper to the sideline, that's huge. That's huge.
Yep.
Also, can we just go with a very simple concept here of just run all hooks? I mean, your completion percentage has to be higher, though.
It doesn't work as well in women's Eagle because you need to get to half field in 4 downs.
No, I understand that. It's just right now, you're throwing the ball in almost what I'll describe as those Hail Mary plays, right? I'd prefer at least get chunks of yardage to put yourself in a position where you can get to midfield, as opposed to you want to get it all in one shot type of thing.
And that's like the situation, for example, with Alison Sobel that we've talked about, is she gets behind the 8 ball sometimes on first and second down, and she's forced to make low percentage throws.
Yeah, that was another clip that was on the Instagram page as well.
Yeah, so do check out our Instagram. We're trying to get as many clips and as much community involvement as possible, although I'd like some more community involvement. Wink. Wink. Maybe talk to players. Wink.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I was trying to be really subtle.
No, not at all.
So as close as the game was, Luke came from taking a whipping at the hands of Vortex. I know the Brut are supposed to be the best team in the division.
You know what? I don't think that's true. Vortex
I don't think that's true anymore.
Really good.
Yeah.
Vortex are really good.
Yes.
Like I twice that I get to see them in person, and both times I'm excited. I legitimately hope that high octane style of offense works against some of the better teams in FPF, because I was shocked to see how efficient they are at throwing the ball deep.
Yeah, it's insane.
19 completions for 292 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Jeez, it's just wow. And the receiving complement of Catherine Girard and Virginie Aubu-Menard was just menacing all night. Now, granted, now that we saw Luz-Nord on Monday night, okay, is it maybe put into context? It puts up the 53 points. But regardless, they're executing. The execution is on point. And the connection that Gabriel Vanier does have with those two receivers is just it looks like it's indefensible almost, and I'm really looking forward to a Brut Vortex matchup, which is Sunday 7:00 in Lachine.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the litmus test, right?
Yeah.
The one thing I will say about Luz-Nord in this game, because mine was actually immediately following this, so I managed to catch the tail end of it.
Yep.
The Luz-Nord defense didn't know what they were doing.
But that's
to the point
that's
where
the case for Lou and Lou. They don't understand the concepts yet.
But that's the thing, though. So they understand enough to understand like man versus zone type of stuff because we heard the bench calling out to the defense like, "What are you guys doing?" Because it doesn't look like anything right now. Like people are just running around. The team on the field isn't communicating with each other. So it's not even like, okay, they huddle, they talk about what's going to happen, and then someone doesn't understand. Like, no, like, they're not even huddling. They're standing there and doing whatever they want to do. So there has to be a level of coordination in terms of who is responsible for calling the defense. And then once you at least have that call done, then you can start looking at, okay, where are we failing? What are we not understanding? Are we chasing people in zone coverage when we should be like handing them off? Or are we just getting beat on one-on-ones or crossers or whatever it is in our man coverage? We are losing our person after scramble plays, etc. There was points where the Vortex receivers were standing by themselves, like not even like anyone around them, just because someone just completely went the opposite direction. And it made it very easy for Gabriel Vanier to just find the open person because there was very little pressure from a rush and wide open field everywhere.
She also has like this Brett Favre, Andrew Luck, Pat Mahomes kind of gunslinger quality to her. And Gabrielle Vanier. Like, she's always looking
money
for
fraud stuff, hopefully.
What?
None of the money fraud stuff, hopefully.
Well, yeah, when it comes to Brett Favre, fair. Yeah. But the style of play, more than the style of humanity, thankfully. Because it would be hard for two people to defraud healthcare that way. But the thing is...
Not the Quebec healthcare, though.
Yeah. The thing is with Gabrielle Vanier, the way she's always looking for that kill shot is... It's how
scary.
You want teams to play.
It's scary.
I wish I could play that way.
Yeah.
Her physical skills and her ability to throw on the run, her ability to throw deep on the run across her body. Iggy, I was like, that's a dangerous throw. Nope, that's a wide open receiver. That's a touchdown. Yeah. My goodness. Yeah. It's... the confidence and physical skills is it's wild to me. It's wild to me.
Yeah, agreed.
So I'm excited, like you are, to see what they're gonna look like against Brett. So there are 4 0-2 teams. No, looking at the wrong thing.
You are.
That would make no sense because we haven't yet started to talk about Tier 2. Here we are.
Oh, there, smooth transition.
Thank you. Because it was highlight on the script.
Highlighted.
Highlighted. Why would it be highlighted?
Highlight.
I mean,
that might be like the
in the past, did you lighted your Christmas tree, or was your Christmas tree lit?
Yeah, but no, you didn't lit your Christmas tree.
I see what you're saying.
You lighted your Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Verbs.
There's definitely like a past participle in there that is
apparently
lit. Like my tree is lit.
This is a terrible language. Why do we use it?
It's lit AF, as the kids would say.
The kids say lighted.
Lighted AF.
Yeah. Lighted AF. James Drysdale was high on Nick Schaefer before the season. We had a long drunken conversation with him after our broadcasts and before some other broadcasts. And he was really excited to be playing with Nick Schaefer. Yep. He was really excited to exploit that skill set. And we said, well, look, the physical skills for Nick Schaefer are ridiculous. Like, the chart for him to be a top 5 quarterback in FPF is there, right? Like the physical skills are absolutely there. Yep. He's developed a lot in terms of his play calling.
For flag, yep.
He's become a flag quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? From being a tackle quarterback. So I see it. I still say, at the time I said, look, my opinion, which is not wild, I don't think, Stephen Harpersad, not a thrower of the football, but as a quarterback, is a better quarterback than Nick Schaefer.
I have to agree with that statement.
Because Stephen Harpersad will be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Without a doubt. Like, the second he's eligible, if it's not unanimous, somebody hates him.
Yeah.
But Nick Schaefer, if he continues to play like this, because what he's been this season has been the best version of him. And how much of it is the faith that James Drysdale had, and how much of it is adding pieces like James Drysdale to the team?
I have a hot, spicy take on this one.
Go ahead.
I look at the stat line, 16 for 29, 154-4. Look right next door at Anton Sakis. Hasn't played in 3 years. 16 for 29, 167-4. Nick, what's your excuse? The guy's been out of the league for 3 years, and you put up the lesser stats than him.
How many drives did each team have?
Can you take a look? Good question.
Okay, because it might have been just a slow
I'm
plotting.
I'm gonna say 8-8. I'm gonna guess here 8-8 in team stats.
Possession 6 and 6.
Okay, so it's not bad.
Yeah.
Four touchdowns and 6 drives is not bad.
66%.
Because one of the drives is end of game, one of the drives is end of half.
Yeah.
So it's 5 complete drives.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
they were essentially long drives is what the game script probably was.
Yeah.
But Mangoose came back in that game.
Yeah.
But I think that's my point of, after all this time, game changers who going into the season we had a bunch of question marks about, Mangoose actually comes right down to the wire, and a 1 extra point difference is really what changes it here. Like, if anything, this makes me more concerned about Mangoose in the rest of the games if this game is a very close one.
Let's take a look, though, at James Drysdale and his connection with his the new love of his life. We see here Nick Schaefer in the red zone, shadow of the end zone, like really like at the 1 yard line. We're explaining, of course, for the audio audience. Ball gets snapped, a smash out, perfectly run. Front cone is open and hits Drysdale in stride. It's as pretty as he wanted to look. So, who do you think helps who more here? Do you think Drysdale's addition to the team helps push Nick Schaefer to that next level, or is this who Nick Schaefer is and it's just adding another weapon?
You know what? I was gonna go one way, but it might be a bit of the two.
So you're going to go neither way.
No, I'll still go one way, but you're right that Nick Schaefer having these added complementary pieces, or are they really complementary pieces? They're like number 1 pieces on every other team.
Yeah.
And adding those number 1 pieces, like that helps a lot. Now, you only singled out James Drysdale, and
just because we had the clip of him, and he's new to the team.
Sure, but so is, I believe, Oliver Surrey.
He's
played more
on this roster. I think that is true.
He's played more with the easy.
Yeah, but they all know each other.
I know, but I don't believe he's caught balls from Nick Schaefer before, in an FPF setting environment.
Okay, and Nick Schaefer's Oliver Surrey is also more of an impact on defense. He's great on offense too, but his main thing is he's a DB and tackle, right? So or was, I don't know if he's still playing.
But he has that ability, like the 1 catch for 21 yards. That's a first down, and already you're almost in the red zone.
Yeah, he's part of that Glow Gang group. But there was like some. There's some crossover between Glow Gang and
All Hooks,
ECW. They're all.
I agree. And a name not known to FPF maybe as much, but more MFL, Dominic Stiplasek.
Yeah.
This guy's real good, and he comes in with a nice rating of 75. I mean, that's probably more or less his rating, but it's the fact that it's a base rating, and not many guys know of him. He's one of the Mike Roy barbecue touchdown catchers for Mr. Roy.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so look, I think it is adding these pieces like this, guys that can have double-digit touchdowns by the end of the season. This is the best version of Nick Schaefer. Yeah, 9 TDs, no interceptions so far this season.
Do we break news on the show, Eagle? Because we're not live.
Imi
Udoka, coach of the Boston Celtics, suspended for the entire 22-23 season.
Seems weird.
Wrong show.
I know.
Damn it.
And we're still broke during our show, by the way, that we recorded before this. Which, by the way, if you are interested in things beyond flag football, please tune in to Hot Sauce Sports. I'm listening to Hot Sauce Sports.
I barely heard it.
Really? It's super loud in my headset.
No, I barely heard it.
We're still having issues. So if we look at game changers, we talked a little bit about Armando Bala and...
Armando? Armando.
I wrote Armando in the script.
Armando Bala.
You know, it's weird you say that because I've also always thought it was Armando.
Yeah.
So.
You know what?
No, that's a new name.
Change his name on the site.
New name. Armando.
His name is now Armando Bala.
It's a pretty baller name.
He sounds like a flamenco dancer. Armando Bala. How impactful is he to a defense that absolutely needs their playmakers to play a big role?
So I wasn't sure last year how good he would be as a rusher with the infantry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw him play against Vultures and Ben McMahon, and I'm like, oh, damn, he is, a game changer. Even in the final against Chris Rive, the guy's fast and huge. He just takes away the middle of the field, and he comes barreling down on you. It's scary, and just takes a third of the field away for guys that don't have great arms to the sideline. Guys not named Nick Schaefer who can hit that sideline on a dart. But like, yes, he's definitely one of the key pieces for game changers in tier 2.
Guys, I got it. Armando Bala, the flamenco rusher.
I like it.
It's fast, passionate, and aggressive.
I like it.
Okay, all right.
You never seen a flamenco?
I'm so on it, on your naming of it. I don't know. I just Armando Bala. It's
a good name.
Just the name.
I like the name.
Okay.
So I, like Iggy, you and I are not the tallest quarterbacks. Neither is Ben McMahon. Neither is Chris Rive, the guys you mentioned.
Yep.
What is more difficult for you? Do you find a fast rusher to be difficult or a taller rusher?
It's not even close. It's the tall rusher.
Absolutely, because you time a fast rusher eventually.
Yeah, you actually do that better than probably I do. Honestly, if your rusher's not tall, I don't even notice you as a rusher.
You can hold on to the last second and just put it right over their heads.
Yeah, like I like more of a quick release. I get that ball out of my hands like very quickly. So I told him, I remember telling a rusher once, I'm like, I'm not even throwing shade at you. I'm like, I'm not even noticing you. Like, cause he said, sorry, like I may have hit you. I'm like, I don't even notice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm not throwing shade. So definitely a tall rusher who takes my middle of the field away and even, kind of like shades over to one side. That's definitely the more impactful rusher.
Yeah, I agree. We have actually a sack that he recorded last game.
Yep. In that game.
All right, never mind. We don't have it, so look for it on Instagram. There are 4 0-2 teams. Who's in the most trouble? Who has the most pressure to climb out of the basement? We'll do this quickly because we do gotta get the show on moving.
Yeah, I mean,
how did you drop 2 games, Hot Sauce Sports?
Yeah, I was gonna say
I trusted you.
It's Hot Sauce.
Yeah.
Would you put money on us?
No.
Okay, well then you didn't trust us.
Then you didn't trust us enough.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm
why.
not a gambler.
Outdoor peas is part of the issue.
And I didn't believe it, but we're playing outdoors till like week 6. October 19th. I thought it was like...
It's funny you mentioned that because our group chat literally has Mo Khan saying these outdoor games are brutally cold.
They're terrible. Yeah. They're terrible. Anyway,
I thought it was like till October 6th.
FPF is awesome. Everything's awesome. They're not terrible.
Everything. I'm going to say Hot Sauce Sports is one of the teams in trouble. You got... if you just look at their next 3 games, Mangoose, Kiss My Outlaws, and Blackouts. Awesome. Great. Nick Schaefer, Adam Sinagra, and Steve Haraprasad.
No problem.
Please go ahead and score 50 points.
Yeah, every game.
Please.
Outdoors.
Go 8 for 8 on your drives if the defense gives you 8 possessions.
It's,
Yeah.
Joey Notaro looks cold.
We all were cold. For many of us, it was our second game of the night. Mike Pierce, myself, Vincent Chung, you and I. Yeah.
We had to go back to my place and watch Monday Night Football.
Yeah, for like 20 minutes.
And get like a double espresso coffee to warm you up.
Yeah. It was cold.
So definitely Hot Sauce Sports, especially just because the next 3 games are daunting. And I'm going to go with Friends Without Danny. Although they were more competitive in their last game against Sweat and Beers, they had Danny on the roster. So is he on the roster?
Are they without Danny?
I don't know. He's in the team picture, so fraud. Fraud.
False Kings. False Kings because they lied to us.
Yeah.
So new definition.
Maybe he's still on the team, but they're no longer friends.
Oh,
with him.
There we go.
Like there's like a bad breakup or like
the group
a little
of friends.
Yeah, they're just not friends with Danny anymore, as possible.
Side,
yeah, I would agree. I think those two. I think Game Changers showed they're already improving quickly. And who's the other one? That's
Team Ethnic.
They're not scoring as much as I thought they would.
Yeah.
That's the weird part for me.
30 points in 2 games.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Maybe it's the incompatibility with newcomers like Anthony Sija and Nick Gomez-Rizzo because they're fantastic players. Just maybe a timing issue.
I think both of those guys have a greater impact on defense in general. So it did help. And we're seeing that. Like, their defense does look better. Over 2 games. Like, given that they're not scoring to allow only, 64 points in 2 games. I know it's not great, but when you're not scoring, it's hard to keep the opposition from scoring, right?
Yeah.
Help me figure this out here, because I'm trying to just do it quickly. You play 8 games total. Friends without Danny do not play Hot Sauce Sports. Who's the other team they don't play?
How many? There are 10 teams.
There are 10 teams. You have 8 games. So Hot Sauce Sports is one of them.
Yeah.
And actually, that's it then, right? That's the only thing they don't
that's the
play?
one.
Because you don't play yourself, obviously.
Yes,
We
yeah,
don't
yeah,
play
yeah,
ourselves.
yeah, that's
Although
that's
it often feels
Yes,
like we're
yes.
playing ourselves.
Yeah.
So because of that reason alone, I think Hot Sauce Sports and Friends Without Danny are actually in the most trouble, because those are the ones that you would think would need help to get out by
By
winning
beating
the matchup against each other, but there
each
is no matchup against each other. So it's really going to be which one of them has a better outing versus Team
Versus Team
Ethnic
Ethnic
and
and Game Changers, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Assuming all the other games are equal.
Tier 1, can Bless stay undefeated in week 3 facing STL, or will the STL defense, I mean, this might be the best defense Stephen Harpersad faced. Theo and Jamie Ojea are a real deal. Terrence Adams, very good rusher. Will they be able to give Stephen Harpersad his first pick of the season? How do you see this game going on? I just give you a long preamble, and now you talk about Blessed.
That's because I wrote that
I
part.
didn't read it ahead of time.
Yes. I think this will be the first kind of prime time defense that Steve Harpersad faces this season. I think at least, I'll just go with 1 interception. And that just might be enough for Dylan Taylor to gain the upper hand in terms of the possessions and the scores in this one.
Yeah. Stephen Harpersad asked me before the game, before his game this week, what the weaknesses on STL are, and I said, no, there are none.
No.
There are none. They're incredible. They haven't been around for a couple of seasons, so people forget. But Dylan Taylor is much better than people think as a quarterback. That defense is nasty. The receivers are nasty. A lot of great two-way players. There is not a weakness on STL that I can ascertain. I think I'm going to agree with you. I think this is where Stephen Harpersad falters. I think Bless can still win. I think one thing Stephen Harpersad does really well is converts, and if this is score for score, because I can see Dylan Taylor also making a mistake, right? So
yeah, I was just gonna say, if Bless are gonna come out victorious, I can see like a 36-35 or 41-40 kind of outcome where they're winning by 1, maybe 2 points on converts.
Are we surprised with Blessed start to the season though, 2-0-1 type of situation, or is this kind of what we expected in some way, and now the hard part sort of begins?
Kind of impressed because they struggled in Division 2. Now, I want to say when they played against Run It once, Jeff Rosenblatt wasn't there.
I believe so. I'll confirm.
Yeah. So yeah. While I'm buying time, please take a look.
Yeah. It was Anton Sakic.
Anton Sakic threw.
So what is
they tied EZW, which is about their caliber of play historically.
Yeah.
And
KGP.
And then they beat KGP
36-30. Yeah.
That's an impressive win.
I'm more surprised that they tied EZW.
Really?
And beat KGP. Like, if anything, I would have thought maybe they would tie KGP and beat EZW.
Okay. You thought they would beat EZW, not that you're not. It's not that you're not surprised that they beat KGP.
Correct.
It's that you're more surprised that they didn't beat EZW.
Yes.
Yeah. Got you. I didn't get the emphasis.
I would have thought that the 38-38 game tie would have been against KGP.
Yeah.
And the 36-30 victory over EZW.
On the other side of that, can we include STL in the group of elite teams in Tier 1? Or is this a case of do it against the Braves on September 26th? Like, we haven't seen it until they do it for real kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, so they played in week 1 EZW and then played #NR with Adam Sinagra. So that one's actually quite impressive. Yeah. I'll give him that.
Sinagra didn't look himself that game.
Sure, it's his return to FPF after
Kendall Myers also being out also.
Yeah. After the winter season, so his return after no spring season under his belt. Yes, I'm going to say that their first Tier 1 legitimate matchup, I mean, if it's not Braves, who is it, right? So could be Kangaroos is an argument there, but yeah, give me that out. It's an outdoor game, your favorite. But sure, yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Let's see how that outcome of that Braves game is Monday, September 26th. So they have that's this week. So they play 2 games this week.
Yeah, on Monday, I believe.
Sunday and Monday. Yeah.
Yeah. On the other side of that, can we include? Oh no, sorry, I just asked that question.
Yes, yeah. Someone's tired. It's okay.
It was because it was my third point on the script, not the second. I rearranged it in my mind because it made more sense in the conversation. But we talked about ECW and they tied Blessed, and Jeremy White's got a sort of mobile style, right?
Yes. I got you.
Can
now.
that sort of hybrid mobile quarterback style be successful in Tier 1?
It's a great question because I asked it.
Yeah. This is a great picture, by the way. There's so much going on, although nothing's going on.
Yeah, it's like our show.
This
is the title card for calling the audible.
I like it. Like JC Ferland's looking at Jeremy. Jeremy's doing his thing with the fingers. Yeah, just no smiles. One smile in the top corner,
staring off into the distance, blinking, happy, sad, neutral. It's everything. Soccer going on in the background. The big yellow thing in the sky.
What is that?
It's the lights from the soccer field, you moron.
I can't.
Could
see
be
it
anything
from here. Can't see it. I have a bad.
Could be the North Star.
I want to say no, but I also want to say yes.
You want conflicting things, my friend.
Yeah. Look, the thing is, you will never be able to run as fast as the ball can travel through the air. It's just
well, it depends. If it's me throwing, then yes, you can. But yeah.
What?
If it's me throwing, then yes, you can.
I guess, but not if you're running.
Yeah.
Although you ran for 9 yards, and I was hyped up. So you didn't.
You can put some hang time on a ball.
What?
No.
You can put some hang time on a ball. It just sits in the air for forever. You can run right by it.
And then catch your own ball.
I will say this. People said when I first started in FPF, people said running quarterbacks don't win in FPF, and then we saw Tam Villadeth win a championship, and then we saw Tam Villadeth win another championship, and Jeremy White, to me, is on that trajectory. I don't see a big difference between Tam Villadeth and Jeremy White. They're about the same.
Okay. Maybe a better deep ball.
Who?
From Tam? From Tam?
Maybe. But, so like
he puts more juice.
But how often are you just ripping the ball down the field in FPF?
Well, in FPF, in Tier 1, it happens a lot.
Sure, but if it's not part of your game, like Rashdi but an applicator was never known for throwing the ball down the field, and again, multiple championships. So, like, yes, it's a skill you'd rather have than not have. But if you don't have it, you can march down the field. You can still throw intermediate passes at 20 yards that are still incredibly difficult to defend. Yep. And buying time allows you to hit that intermediate area more than a static quarterback.
Yeah, but I just feel like those defenses, although Tier 1's normally more known for like crashing and undercutting slants and outs, I just feel like the athleticism is there to recover on broken plays, like there isn't in the lower to middle divisions.
Fair.
Yeah.
And that's also where the rushers don't get a lot of sacks in the in the highest divisions, but they're the best rushers in FPF because they force bad throws, they contain, they won't let you escape to the sideline, and
like
that kind of
Isaiah Lard with 4 sacks, but that's
yeah.
But
generally the sack totals are higher in the lowest divisions.
Yes, but he got 4 against Jeremy White.
Well, there you go.
I'm saying. Yes, but it's Isaiah Lard.
But I think it's going to take Jeremy some time to develop. We can't expect him to be great at it right away, right?
No. And this is his second crack at Tier 1 in the Fall Cup. He did play it in it last year, and had saw some relative success. And I believe played Division, I want to say 2 in the winter. Division 2 against Junkyard Dogs, and they almost beat them in a playoff game. It was a 1 point.
And that's a tough game.
Yeah,
that's a tough game. I think it can work. I think that you need to develop your skills around what you do best. In his case, it is being able to throw on the run, buying time. So he needs to develop other parts of his game that are complementary to that. And I think he's a smart enough guy, and he's surrounded with so much talent that he can't help but get better. So I'm confident it can work. Will he ever be Kevin Wyeth, Dan Lazara? I don't think he would say that.
Right.
But can he surround himself with a lot of talent and have his teammates carry him and him maximize his skill set? Absolutely.
Sure. It's just last year, again, because the Fall Cup's weird in the terms of games played and the way the stats are shown. In 3 games, 12 TDs, 5 interceptions, 96 quarterback rating, his lowest of all the Fall Cups. 583 yards in 3 games, 60% completion.
You're doing what old sports media did.
Just
You're looking into the past.
Raw. 1 year.
I'm looking into the future. I'm projecting what I think he can be.
Yes.
Because anybody can look
yes.
in the past.
Yes.
It's easy. We have a website.
Yes.
We're here to project to the future.
Oh, thank you. You're criticizing me.
Yeah.
Go for
I'm
it.
not criticizing. I'm directing.
You're
I'm training the talent, Iggy.
Uh-huh.
It's on-the-job training.
Mammoth.
It's because you threw me under the bus last week,
I did?
and I'm coming back at you.
Like a mammoth.
Like a mammoth, like a woolly mammoth, of which either tastes like a bear or lamb, but definitely not bison.
I'll go with it tastes like Bruins, after all.
Like what?
Like a Bruin?
Like a Bruin?
Yeah, like Bruins. Of
Are we transitioning?
Of tier 3. No, we're done with tier 3.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
was
yeah.
confused. But we are going to place a call into Mo. Can you hear?
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't
so
know.
I need to excuse myself for a moment. Worst case, Eagle will have this conversation
flustered.
with Mo.
Did you guys hear that?
No, it's
No.
ring.
So,
No, did you guys hear?
but
the
it's
fluster?
sponsored by Sportira
It's flustered.
because if it's in the shirt, it's in the shirt.
Can you not hear it at all for real?
The ringing? No.
No, we can't.
Not,
we
not
can't.
ringing at this point over here.
Can you play music so we can hear?
I'm not hearing music.
No, it's not working. Eagle, you have to call Mo. Just call Mo.
Do I have to take my...
Take
yeah.
your headset off. There's no way this is good podcasting.
Impossible.
Because we're not talking.
Do you have any lead...
No, we hear nothing. We don't even hear ourselves. We haven't heard ourselves for like
Oh,
an
I
hour.
hear music now, but now I can't hear peas.
I don't hear
But
music.
I hear music. It's Simon's music.
Okay. So I need to excuse myself.
Okay. Excuse yourself.
So I'm excused.
You're,
You guys call Mo. I don't know why you didn't just call Mo during that time.
Because I wanted to make sure you
I
could
don't
hear it before
care.
I
Okay,
don't
now I
care.
can hear both things. Perfect. Here we go. So I have no
Take a
lead
4-minute thing and turn it to fucking 36 minutes.
I want to make sure you can hear Mo
Don't
before
swear.
I call Mo.
9 o'clock. He's...
Hello?
Hello,
Mo.
Mo Khan.
You guys can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you
Sort
hear me?
of. Our board's still being a little bit weird and
Make
everything.
sure he doesn't get the goddamn score.
No,
No, I won't. We're at a critical 4th down here between QB Roulette against... no, who's the team over here?
No, Toon Squad and West Island Boys, no?
No. QB Roulette against Step Bros. Hold on,
Okay.
I'll tell you right now. Exactly. Oh, as well offside over here. So we're going to... Oh, procedure is being the offense. We're moving back to 5.
Ooh, what was the down
Technically,
situation?
it's not procedure. It's false start.
Fourth down.
Fourth and?
It'll be 4th and now 15.
Oh, so it's 4th and 10. Okay. So do they go for it?
Oh, no. Zachary Abigail said, fuck it, we're going to go. Oh, sorry, I can't swear.
Yes, you
He said,
can. Of
"Bleep, we're
course
going
you
to go
can.
for it now.
Okay,
He
there.
said, "Bleep, we're going to go for it now."
Okay, there's.
So
they're
here we
still
go.
going-
So wait, Zachary Albert-Gill is the quarterback for this half.
That's
For the
correct. He's been the
game.
quarterback for the entire game.
The game.
Yeah, but I don't care about the game. I
So,
care
hey,
about the half.
question for you folks. Who's doing the podcast next week? Is it Laurie and I, or is it Mo Khan and someone else?
You have the option.
This is like an
Well-
RPO, Mo. Do you know what that is? Because you were quarterback once, but didn't really.
Yeah,
go
yeah,
well.
yeah. Yeah, well, who's Peasy, by the way?
Pease right now
taking a leave
is
of
relieving
absence.
himself.
He's taking a leave of absence.
Okay, perfect. Here we go. 4th and 15. Abigail drops back. He's in 1 yard in the end zone. He just rushed to the right. He throws it. He's going to be picked off. And Step Rose are going to get the ball back at the 1.
Okay.
All right,
Step
interesting,
Rose.
interesting. But yeah, so next week, Mo, we may have Lori make her podcast debut. You think? You think
Lori,
Rudy's
are
up
you
to the
ready?
challenge?
Rudy, you ready for the podcast next week or what? She's actually in?
She wants
no,
to be,
you
she's
don't
in.
ask. She tells us if she's in or not.
You in or not? Are you in or not for the podcast? She says yes. Rudy's in for next week.
Perfect. She's
All right,
making
cool.
her debut.
But where's everyone? Why isn't Ian Peasy or why isn't
he's
Iggy not
taking his leave?
Pease is out and everything, but Iggy's still around.
I'm available.
It's like I said, it's your choice, Mo.
You lead the way.
Whatever.
We can have both.
We can have the RP and the O.
Oh, we have both you guys in studio then. We can have both you guys in studio, no?
Yeah, let's do that. I like that idea, actually.
Yeah, please the budget. You know, look, I'm being forced to work a fourth hour here tonight at Laval. It's bleeding cold, and I want to go home.
Yeah, bring extra hot chocolate.
Yeah, I'm not happy right now. This fourth hour edition, like I was so pissed about that. Even these guys, even Pranav Sharma was not happy about that for me. He's like, bleep that, Mokan. I can't believe you get to work a fourth hour here.
A fourth? Oh, right, the fourth hour. Yep.
Yeah, the additional hour would never be happening. Okay, so you have a rule like outdoor cold games, no more than 3 hours of games. That's it. No 4 hours, please.
Okay. All right.
Anyway,
Pease is back now, by the way.
Hey Mo, I can't hear you.
Not ruin the score. Are you sure? Because I put him on both A and B.
I can't hear him. I can't hear Iggy either.
Oh wow, perfect.
I have nothing coming through my headset.
Are your volume up?
Yes.
Have you changed port, maybe?
I've tried it several times.
Have you tried putting them the other way because it's going into potentially your deaf ear?
So Mokan, have they converted on? Have they scored a touchdown?
We'll get back to that in a second.
No,
before you tell us that, will you be able to be on the show next week?
We just talked about.
Yeah,
that.
I'm here.
What are your plans for the weekend?
We want your weekend plans.
Sorry, for this weekend?
Yes.
I have 2 football broadcasts on Saturday. I got a soccer on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm busy this weekend.
No, are you going to have a black bean burger anytime soon?
You know what? Maybe. Perhaps I will.
It was one of the favorite menu items of Saturday night, in my opinion.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I
nice.
agree.
Yes, it was very fantastic. It was very nice. Even the potatoes were nice. The zucchini was very nice.
Well, I'm sorry to cut you off, Mo, but unfortunately that's all the time we have. I want to thank you, Sportira, for the wonderful segment where we get a live look at the field with Mo Khan.
Perfect. I'll speak to you guys in an hour.
All right. We're not calling you back. Bye.
All right, have a good night, Mo.
Peace.
We're not calling him back because I can't hear him.
He said, we'll speak in an hour. And I'm like, we're not calling you back.
We'll call Mo back in an hour. We'll get his picks. Have we not given Justin Goodman enough credit as a quarterback?
Yes.
Because?
Yes, I know. I'll give a bit more than that.
Thank you, Simo.
Have we not given him? Yes.
Yeah.
So you're saying he deserves more credit?
Yes.
Yes.
What's this weird question?
I wrote it weird.
What's the other way of interpreting it?
Should we give him more credit?
Yes. I want Eagles interpret the secondary interpretation of how this question was phrased.
It's just hard to read. Have we not given someone enough credit?
Yeah.
Why not just have we given him?
Yeah, you shouldn't be. An interview technique is you're not supposed to ask questions in the negative. But
right. But although you did it with your double negative, but it made sense in the context.
In the context, it made sense. This one does not make sense.
Yes.
I mean, it's the same context. You use the double negative.
Mine was about exclusion. Yours is about inclusion.
Okay. I mean, you're just a terrible exclusive person, I guess.
Thanks, man.
So. Yes, we have not given Justin Goodman enough credit, maybe even enough talk airtime here on Calling the Audible, and this is his time to really shine. I'd say I knew going into this season that Tier 4 was too low of a caliber for him. Yeah. I could envision them in Tier 3. And look, having I was going to say 4-6, but a 3-5 season, it's not a bad thing in FPF to have a 3-5 season, maybe even go 4-4. Or even 2-6 is not absolute, like it's not a crappy season.
No.
It's pretty good, especially if you're moving up a tier, like the Penetrators would have. He's now taken a lot of concepts from Rocco Cristiano. He was under the tutelage of him.
Oh, I was corrected by the way. Rocco Cristiano was a quarterback at Mania.
Okay.
So he's quarterback his whole life.
Oh, shit. Oh, awesome. Cool. Oh, bleep. As Mocon says. Yeah, so back to Justin Goodman. He has actually doesn't look like a quarterback that you think would have a good deep ball, but he does. The arc on his ball, he can get it over defenders in playing deep. He leads his receivers well, has the receivers like Nick Fawn, who's now emerging to be one of those the star receivers of the team. He loves hitting him on wheels and posts downfield.
Well, you mentioned Nick Fawn. We have this video here where we see sort of the creative aspect of Goodman. He catches a ball on the ground, throws a ball to the outside, caught by Fawn for a touchdown.
Yeah, and what I noticed more from it, I actually like kind of dissected it. It comes from a trips. So immediately his inside guy, Nick Fawn, doing the quick out. And I believe they're like kind of two ins. There's like a post and a hard post. Which kind of just naturally shifts the defense more to the middle of the field. And if that quick out's not immediately taken, he's going to hit it. It's his first read. It was there, perfectly thrown.
And able to keep with his first read while getting the ball off the ground.
Yes, yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? That launch angle is from his knee. If you kind of see it one more time there.
This coverage also looks like a man coverage, right? So right off the bat, if you're lining up trips and you see the center go out, you have to call a switch at this point over here. There's no way the middle guy's going to catch this guy. Like, there's no way. And there he is, chasing after him.
Yeah.
And the body control to catch the ball by Fawn and turn and immediately hit the end zone. He kind of faded last season. Like, he started really strong and it faded on the stretch. So I'm hoping that that's not going to happen this time around. Also, other teams started looking at the stat sheet and like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
We got to watch this guy.
Yeah.
Right?
And now that we got pictures... now we know who
it
you
is.
are.
Yeah. Shout out, by the way, to the photographers doing some good work this season, going out of their way to make sure that they got as many of the individual photos as possible. They're important, like we talked about last week. So looking ahead at their schedule, they have Deep Balls, Red Dragons, Primetime, QB Roulette, Step Roast. Is this the last challenge they'll have the rest of the way?
Save the Turtles? Like that game against Save the Turf. We're still talking
I'm
about...
saying the game against Save the... Was that the last challenge they'll have?
Yes. No. I took a good look at the Primetime franchise. They actually go back to, like, I believe spring 2019.
Yeah.
Is where...
This iteration of Primetime, because there's been like a million of them.
Yeah.
Yes,
but this core, yeah.
Yeah, and I forget again, they were like under another quarterback and then like Division
Daniel
5A.
Spina's been the fourth quarterback, I think, that they've tried.
Yes.
And I think this is the one to stick. He looks good.
Yeah, exactly. So I like what Primetime has to offer as a competition to Penetrators. I still think Penetrators are the favorite.
I mean, last week we talked about how Save the Turtles and Penetrators were like the class above the rest of the division, right?
Uh-huh.
And they looked at this week. It was a great game.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if Primetime are quite there.
No. But it's their next closest.
Yeah.
It's their next competitive.
I think the next tier is one team. And it's Primetime.
Yes.
Like the S tier is Penetrators and
Save the Turtles.
And Save the Turtles.
Yeah.
Then you have Primetime, and then like I guess maybe WIB 2.0. Like the talent is there on that team. They just haven't figured out a way to best use all the pieces they have, right?
And they haven't had a favorable schedule.
No,
yet.
not at all.
Like,
not at all.
Like a 26-19 close game against Penetrators and versus West Island Boys 2.0. It says a lot about
they've
West
only
Island.
faced Penetrators and Save the Turtles.
Yes.
So all we know about them is they're not as good as the two best teams in the division. That's the only information we have.
Exactly. So want to see a bit more, see
Yeah.
them, beat up against, lower class teams and see how competitive they are in the middle
If
teams.
you want to learn more about WIB 2.0, I had a conversation with Skylar Bailiff.
You did.
He told me about this team, and I kind of profiled them in my article this week.
Also, one of the awesome names in FPF, Skylar Bailiff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like you were born to play football.
Or be a bailiff.
I don't know what that is.
He's the guy who throws you out of your apartment when you don't pay your rent and throws all your shit in the street.
I guess I haven't had that problem.
Or
Isn't
like
he also the guy in the courtroom that actually
That
takes
too.
out the prisoners too
Yeah.
and everything? Yeah.
I've one of my close friends was a bailiff.
Oh.
I'll tell you after Show Eagle. You'll be incredibly surprised by which friend. Just that sentence will tell you who it is, but we'll talk about it later. Same guy used to drive a hearse. Not as a job. It was his car. It was his vehicle of choice. Was a hearse. So yeah.
Okay.
Makes for a great bet on a date.
What?
Makes for a great bed on a date.
Well, there's a story about that I can't talk about.
There's a lot about what you can't talk about.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Ben Arnovitz is the most targeted receiver in the division.
Yes.
He has 22 targets so far. That said, he has less than 4 catches a game.
Ouch. That's rough.
What's
per game, not on the season.
per game?
Oh, okay.
But still, with that many targets, you're getting 7 targets a game.
11 for 22 on the reception target, so half of the targets are being caught.
So do we know the reason why this is happening? Like, are these?
That was my question. What explains this inefficiency?
Well, I don't think that's what Eagle.
That wasn't my. Yeah. So my question is more: is he actually being targeted, or is it just close to him but being missed because the quarterback is just putting the ball in the wrong place? Is it deep balls that are 50-50 that are overthrown, underthrown, or contested, in which case then he doesn't have a chance on them? Is he just dropping the ball, right? Like the play design is good, but he
knowing
just
Ben
can't grab
Arnovitz,
it.
it's
not,
drop issue.
yeah.
So then where is
so
it exactly?
Iggy,
Yes.
What explains the inefficiency? I like them better my way.
So I caught a bit of that Toon Squad facing penetrators, so I saw penetrators twice last week.
That's a good week.
Yeah. So I saw first was a drag play that was thrown to Ben Arnovitz's feet. So that's not on him. Already running a drag and catching it on the run is not the easiest thing, but when it's at your feet, it's even more difficult. Another one was an overthrown wheel route, one of Arnovitz's favorite to run with the Garner-Ross offense and not Adam Mantel on Sunday night. So an overthrown ball his way. And then another one, as Eagle mentioned, was just kind of a post route or just a deep route that was like a 50-50 ball that...
so two of them though being on deeper, lower percentage routes.
Yes, correct.
Is it perhaps his lack of familiarity with Adam Mantel?
Well, that game in particular was on Sunday night was Garner-Ross.
Oh, Garner-Ross was throwing. So
yes.
That should have played to his favor.
It should have, but it was still overthrown 50-50 balls and then balls to the feet. So maybe it's been a while since them two have thrown and caught balls together. Sounds funny when you say it like that, but especially with a game going, the first 2 games going to Adam Mantella quarterback.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So maybe just a little.
Yeah, and I guess going back and forth, right? That can't help either. Where
yes.
you have one quarterback in your timing starting to develop, and then backup quarterback has to come in, and it's better or worse, it's just not the same.
Exactly.
It's just not the same.
Yep.
Red Dragons dominate week 1 and get handled week 2. So who are they really? Are they the team who was great in week 1 or the team that were not quite sufficient to compete in week 2?
I saw them a couple times in the winter season.
Mm-hmm. Same.
I think you were there at one of the games at Stade de Montréal. Not Stade de Montréal.
The Sheen, wasn't it?
No, the one near Stade de Bear.
Oh, Hebert, yeah.
Yes.
Question mark. Where is this picture taken?
This looks like a bear.
Exactly. This can't be right.
it might be
unless they said just use the one from last year. Maybe.
I'm gonna look at.
Add it to Basecamp.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that was a bear. 100%. That's a bear.
Yeah, and that is their winter 22 picture. I just checked. So much for the photography.
Look,
unless they literally just use.
I actually think it wasn't a photography issue. I think it's an upload issue.
Yeah. I know. Maybe they just tagged it with the same name and then, so who are they? They are what easy. I was gonna say fun, easy W. Maybe with a bit less athleticism and a bit less FPF and flag experience, but they're a team that I can see if they continue at it, they can be where the penetrators and where Save the Turtles are today. Yeah. With like 3 or 4 seasons under their belt.
They faced off against deep balls who expected to struggle.
Yeah.
And they dominated them. Yeah. Right? So that's a good sign. When teams are developing, you want to see that when they're new, when they're playing new teams,
yes,
they beat them.
Yes,
they don't let it be close. They handle them. Then they got dismantled by Primetime 52-14. But Primetime is more of a defensive squad. So I thought, Primetime's got the edge, but I didn't think it would go this way.
And
because
next
of the
week they have
athleticism.
Save the Turf Trolls. Then they have Whip 2.0, which should be manageable. Then they have
And
the
Penetrators.
Penetrators.
Those are
So-
3 very tough matchups for them.
0-3.
Yeah.
0-3. And I think they're good.
Yes. So but it's like a team against like QB roulette. That's gonna be like a close game, one that they can win, maybe even should win. But I'd probably, if I had to put money on it, I would give the 2.5 point favorite to QB roulette.
Yeah.
By a field goal, because there's field goals.
By a
in
field
FPF.
goal.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's more of a convert.
Now that you mentioned QB roulette, Eagle, we forgot to do something last week. As QB roulette, we didn't take them to the wheel, but their
wheel.
game was canceled.
So the wheel was still
Clearly, it's because we didn't take it to the wheel. So, are we doing one quarterback per half, one quarterback per game? Because I've heard rumors that they're going one quarterback per game, but I think we got to go one per half to prove to them that they're
they
doing the
should.
wrong thing,
Or maybe the wheel will tell them that they are doing the right thing.
and put the same quarterback for both halves.
Yes.
There we go. So, what are we doing, Eagle? Both halves?
It's spinning. You can't hear it,
Oh.
probably.
All right, I'll wait for you guys to tell me what's happening.
Kenny Boutelier.
Oh, that is their projected starter for
There we
next
go.
week.
The wheel tells no lies.
And as it spins it one more time for the second half, I swear, if it says Kenny, this would be amazing.
Oh, it's very close. No, it's going to land on Vincent Barcelot.
Well, there we
Okay,
go. So
well,
one quarterback per
salute.
half. QB
You-
roulette. If you want to win,
You must respect.
you
the
must
wheel.
respect the wheel.
Yeah.
You must respect the wheel.
Are they playing tonight, by the way? Weren't
They-
we just getting an update from them?
Yes,
So
but we're
Are
talking
this
about their
applying
week
for
4.
tonight's game?
No, week
like
4.
in hindsight, or
It's absolutely applying for this. This
Oh.
is what they should have done.
Oh, it's what they should. Okay, fine.
admittedly, based on what Mo is describing, they are in trouble tonight. So,
So,
Yes, yeah.
but we don't know the score for sure.
It
well,
don't
we know at one point it was 4th and 15, and
On
that
their-
got
Why did
intercepted.
you let him get that
on their
information?
own one.
I
On
thought
their
you were the
own one.
producer.
And
Yeah.
Zach,
But we have no
Albert's
context
skill.
in terms of where the game's at, other than that one play.
Yes, it was 4th.
Stop trying to save your own skin.
It was 4th and
You
15
failed.
at the 1.
You're the one who
With
had to
Zach-
leave.
Zach Albert's Gill at quarterback, and they did not convert 4th and 15 from
Looks
the 1.
like they should have listened. They should listen to the wheel that we did, that wasn't spun yet.
Exactly.
They should have known. They should have known better.
Should've
Come
known.
on, guys.
But what I love the most is that we didn't do it last week,
And the game was canceled.
and the game was
It's
canceled.
proof that the wheel never
The,
lies.
the wheel literally selected no quarterback, and there was no
And there
game.
was no quarterback.
There was no quarterback. It
So,
was amazing.
Eagle, it's time.
It is time for games of the week. Hopefully, we won't have any scores uploaded, which will make this way more fun for us to pick the actual games themselves. Let me just get everything.
Where are we
loaded up
starting?
here.
Yeah.
We're going to start in tier 3. So usually I go the order that we did the coverage this week. So we're going to
Cool.
do it in the same order that we did the coverage. So
Cool.
let's go through these. Let's go with our first games of tier 3. Arush versus Blue Dreamers.
I'm going to go Blue Dreamers.
No, I'll go Arush.
Bruins Sulefes.
Bruins.
Bruins.
Why So Serious? Lalimo's 17-year-olds.
Give me 17.
Lalimo.
Lalimo? Lalimo?
Lalamo, guys. Come on.
Lalimo.
Kiss My
Lalimo.
In-Laws, Killer Rays.
Oh, in-laws and killer. I'm going to go in-laws, but close game.
Diamond
Biggie, all the
Bougie.
pressure.
I can't pick it.
Diamond Bougie, Lockdown.
Diamond Bougie.
Give me the dime. Give me the bougie.
Trap Stars, Sulefes.
Sulefes.
I'll go Trap Stars.
Why So Serious? Arush.
Arush.
Give me those pitas.
Threat Level Midnight, Ravens.
Ravens. I keep wanting to sing the song, but I can't pick.
Yeah, Ravens.
And Warriors, Lockdown.
Warriors.
Yeah, Warriors. 28-24.
All right, we're going to go co-ed, Les Petits Fuck, Y&Y.
Pitsy fuck.
Yeah, Pitsy fuck. LPP.
Iced Out, Easy Fun.
Easy fun.
Easy fun.
The Villains, Free Smoke.
That one should be good.
Free smoke.
I'll go free smoke as well.
Badgers, Benchwarmers.
Give me the bench warmers.
Benchwarmers.
Melting Pots, Les Pucker.
Les puck hair.
Don't care. Give me the pucker.
The Villains, Sneaky Snakes.
Villains.
I'll go Sneaky Snakes for that one.
I'm buying the defense.
Y and Y, La Sect.
Why and why?
Why and why?
Kiss My End Zone, Fast Not Furious.
You have
Can't
to
pick it. Kiss my hands on my 50.
You have to pick it.
I'm going to go with Fast Not Furious.
Yeah.
Easy Fun, Badgers.
Easy fun.
Easy fun.
All right, Women's Division, Brut Vortex. Great game.
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
You're going to do it, aren't you?
Give me Vortex, because I need that to be successful FPF football.
You know what? After Brut only beat Red Nation 12-0, I'm going Vortex as well.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Loup du Nord, Red Nation.
Red Nation.
Yeah, Red Nation.
And Louvre du Nord, Brut.
Good.
The Brutes.
All right, we're going to go Tier 2, Sweat and Beers, Beer Belly Brigade.
Beer Belly Brigade.
Oh, no, wait, these are TB8. I'm sorry, never mind. Skip. Team Ethnic, Centaur.
I'll go Centaur.
Centaur.
And then Centaur, Kiss My Outlaws.
Kiss My Outlaws. That's
Outlaws
nasty.
8-0.
That's a Tier 1 team in Tier 2.
Yeah.
Mangoose, Hot Sauce Sports.
Can't pick it. Hot Sauce Sports by 50.
Cannot pick it as well. So Eagle.
I'm going to go Hot Sauce Sports.
Ooh.
Friends Without Danny, Blackouts.
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 All right, we got Tier 1, Braves, Easy W.
Braves.
Braves.
KGP, #NR.
Oh, KGP.
I believe they're going to be without Travis Marshall Moses this week. For the same reason we're without Joey Notaro. They're vacationing. So for that reason, I'm going to go with KGP.
Blessed, STL.
I think I still guess this
Yeah,
one.
I think STL.
STL, Braves.
That's fun, but Braves.
Braves.
Run It Once, KGP.
KGP runs it twice.
Yeah, KGP. It's close.
And Run It Once, Kangaroos.
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 And then finally, Tier 4, Balls Deep, The Penetrators.
Penetrators.
Toon Squad, Wib 2.0.
Wib.
Give me those West Island boys.
QB Roulette, The Step Bros.
The Step Bros.
No, I'll go QB Roulette for the defense.
Red Dragons, Save the Turtles.
Save.
And Primetime, Wib 2.0.
That's a good one.
Primetime. It's a good game, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna go prime time as well. Yeah.
All right, boys, and that is our games of the week for week 3.
All right. Such ends another Thursday, becoming the absolute bane of my existence. I'm off next week.
Thursdays are supposed to be fun.
Honestly, doing the show's fun.
Yes, it is.
I love being here with
Yeah,
you guys.
yeah,
I like,
awesome.
but the amount of work that it takes to get this
That
show
goes
going,
into it, yeah.
as well as our other show, as well as the article
Our
and
jobs.
our jobs.
9 to 5.
Because that's the other thing.
I know.
It's not like we only have FPF to do, but it's our. If we had one job to do, it would be FPF, right? Like we
I'm
love
resigning this minute to do a full-time FPF job.
Yeah. But unfortunately, the players can't afford us. So I wanna thank you, Iggy, for coming in today.
Thanks.
We don't know yet. I know Mo will be on next week.
Yeah, it sounded like we asked Lori. She said, "I'm in."
All right. So hopefully
But we might do a Mo, Lori, Iggy show. You missed a lot while you were gone.
I needed to leave.
Yes.
Momentarily.
Yeah, it's your. I called it your leave of absence.
Yes. I had it was my alleviate of absence.
Nice.
And yeah, no. I if it's the three of you, great. I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah.
Eagle, of course, will be in his nest. Thank you, Eagle, for the show is getting more and more production heavy every week, as it turns out.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah, you have no choice.
It's fine.
It has to be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to thank you guys and thank you to the social media team for Jeremy as well and helping put all this together.
Yeah.
But most of all, I want to thank you all for letting me be myself. Good night, Emu Udoka.
Good night, Adam Levine.
That's the reference I'm going to make in the show.
Oh.
Put the place up. the place up. Yeah, we know what we